For some reason, oh, the deck's not legal because I pulled the Titanias out. Okay. So we're going to put the Titania back in. We're going to get an Emrakul the Promised End. Just, I think the first copy's pretty good in you, like Malevolent Rumble deck that's playing K Command. We just have a lot of ramp and we have a lot of different types. I'm going to put an Ouphe in the board also. Now, I do really want the full 4 Force of Vigors for Breach. The Ouphe also comes in against Breach. Doing kind of endurance. Have you considered brewing with any of the other companions now that Gigantha's gone? I've considered briefly going back to my old Zerda combo deck, but the era of companions has ended. Uh-oh. The Emrakul was grayed out. Looks like it's going to get here. Keen-Eyed Recruiter feels better than Skoos. I think both of those cards are bad, and I'm not interested in playing them. I'm just going to main deck an Endurance as Green Sunnable Graveyard Hate, and I have also main deck K-Command, Sideboard Relics. I dislike both those cards a lot. I could be wrong, but I'm just going to lead on the Endurance instead and the K-Commands. Oh, it looks like the Emrakul's already in the Mox field. And then we'll just go ahead and add that Collector Ouphe. I totally meant to add one. I don't know what happened. As an apology, I have trophied our first league at least. Okay, let's run it back. If we had an untapped forest, we're only playing 3 woodlands, but if we had a forest here, we would keep. I think this would just be a mulligan for me. Is there any good cards versus Breach in Grixis, since I could have Stony or Ouphe? Since I can't have Stony or Ouphe. So I feel like in Grixis and Dimir, I thank you for circling back to this conversation because I got a little sidetracked. But I think in blue, like you just want to be playing like 4 spell snares really badly, or like maybe like 3 spell snares main, more in the side. But like that's kind of the best anti-breach card in your colors, I think, a spell snare. We did trophy, yeah. So let me pay out the prediction. Do you trade your cards for ticks on Moto, or do you keep a personal collection? I just trade them for ticks, and then I rent stuff. Keeping a personal collection is just kind of a pain. How do you feel about Insidious Roots? You know, I've been kind of looking at Roots with looting again. I haven't really gotten very far, but I've been looking again. GG's. Indeed. So if we were on the play, we could K-Command the Frog. We're on the draw instead. Do I just main phase? I guess I'm hoping to draw like a 3-drop and getting to K-Command the Frog after that. Thoughts on using Reliquary Tower with Necro Dominance? I'm not that into the idea, since you need to play the Reliquary Tower after your Necro for it to work. And also it's a colorless land. If you could play it before, it would be a lot more interesting. But the way like layers work, you have to play it after. Is Damping Sphere consideration to bring against Breach? I think Damping Sphere is bad against Breach, and I would not recommend it being a big part of your sideboard plan. It is a card you can bring in if you have like other cards that are bad. It does stop the combo, but it's really easy to Boseiju. It's really easy to Might. It's really easy to play around, I think. I think it's one of the worst plans you could have against them. Like Stony Silence is, you know, and Collector Ouphe to a lesser extent are really good because these cards are just very resilient. Or sorry, they're not very resilient. Ouphe isn't resilient. Stony Silence is resilient because it turns off Haywire Might. It doesn't get heated. So Stony is the best card. It also turns off the Moxen. It turns off Grinding Station. That card is really good against them. What's up?
Is the laptop charger upstairs?
I haven't seen that in like a long time. I'm sorry. Does Fiddlebender play Damping Sphere? Fiddlebender, I was not boarding in Damping Sphere against them. I was really in on Pithing Needle, Relic of Progenitus, and the Portable Holes. I guess the Portable Holes less so, huh? Is it better to hold up enchantment removal and eat their yard early if you can? I mean, eating the Graveyard Hate is just like not that good against them overall. It's nice that it also helps against Emry. It's nice that it helps against Tomio, but just doesn't do that much overall. Been feeling like Portent of Calamity is poised to do stuff. I'm having trouble with the shell. Could it make sense with Freestrider and K command due to all the mana? I mean, I wouldn't say that's impossible. Wait, they're flying the frog. I have a reach. I don't think I can really block though. Is Leyline good into breach? They're just really good at like disenchanting, but Leyline is good against them. I think it's good that it like shuts off a turn 1 Imri in addition to turning off the breaches. I would say Leyline is a good card against them. I think it's better than Damping Sphere. Hi, Harry. They're trying to unearth this Harbinger. Okay. So I can't K command anymore, but they don't have any black mana. They don't have another land at all, actually. I definitely need to attack. I need to retrace something. Got some good mills here. Spore Frog would kind of be like the best hit, funny enough. Okay, so we hit a Bauble and we hit a Ramunap Excavator. So, get the ball rolling a little bit here. So I'll retrace the Excavator. And then I think we'll just triple Bauble here. Deck's so good because the hate is kind of mid. Even Stony is easy to answer for them. I mean, it's not easy because you get to turn off the Haywire Might, so they have to have Boseiju or like Nature's Claim, but it's more common for them to have one of their 2 Boseijus. And what's nice is that Stony also like is like pretty proactive against them because it's like turning off their Moxen and stuff. But yeah, it's I agree. There's not Stony is the best hate card and it is beatable. I guess the problem is they can play the Murktide by just discarding their hand. So maybe I could Endurance them to stop that? Interesting. Okay, so no Murktide this turn. They discard a Murktide. I see Dredger's Insight from the new set. Is that the Affinity Draw 3? I saw that one. Jumping with the Halfling is kind of weird. Okay, so how much? So if I can evoke Endurance and Emrakul cost 10. I have 5/6, so I'll still be pretty far from that. They discard a push. They've got 1 card in their hand. It's probably just another. I think I should jump with the Excavator. Because like if I keep Halfling in play, I could top deck Green Sun Zenith for Titania, maybe Green Sun Zenith for Spore Frog. I mean, if they just double fly, they double fly, I guess. The enchantment that mills. Okay, I've not seen that then. So, if you want to link it or something, I could take a look. Also, hopefully we mill over like K command Rumble, and then that discounts the Emrakul by like 3. Because this is our plan. Get Emrakul down. Hopefully they don't see it coming. It'll be their last surprise. So we did mill a Green Sun Zenith, so Emrakul will now cost 9. Okay, Dredger's Insight. This is a green uncommon. Whenever 1 or more artifacts and or creatures leave your graveyard, you gain 1 life. When this enchantment enters, mill 4 cards, put an artifact, creature, or land from among them into your hand. Artifact, creature, or land. So this, I think, is worse than Cash Grab and Rumble in like the Woodland deck, because you can't get Karn. Not getting Karn is just like game over. It's a Malevolent Rumble with like life gain upside that's also an enchantment, which is pretty nice. So, I mean, this is definitely something you want to look at. It's it's interesting that like Rumble was so far and away like the best version of this card that they had ever printed, and then they've seemingly just kind of printed a lot of different versions of the same card. So I guess I could go Excavator Halfling, or I could and then pitch Endurance, or I could just cast Endurance. This is I think I like Excavator Halfling, because then I'll have 4, 5, 6, 7 mana. Emrakul costs 9. Emrakul does cost 9. But if I could mill over a K command, then I could cast Emrakul next turn. So this seems like what we like to call in the biz a plan. Well, better than Cash Grab. So this card is worse than Cash Grab in like the only deck I play Cash Grab in, which is like Shifting Woodland combo. Or the main deck I play Cash Grab in. Does this make Yawgmoth Wolf combos life neutral? So that's an interesting application in Yawgmoth for sure. It also gets can put a Cauldron in your hand. This is an interesting card. There's a lot going on here, and I think Rumble has shown like this kind of like mill 4, put a card into your hand with upside. Like this effect is playable in Modern. They keep like attacking and then choosing to do what to do with their frogs, which is funny. They did have another Murktide, predictably, so they're gonna fly this frog, hit me for 7, down to 5. Not the highest life total I've ever been at. How's the lag? The lag has been so far. Games are like fine at the beginning, and then they start to lag really bad, or maybe just now entering that territory. Yeah, this gets all permanents for Yogg. Yeah, it does should count Grist. So yeah, this card is cool. I definitely like kind of a deck builder's toolbox style card. Why not play Forest from graveyard instead of from hand? Sorry, guess I should have done that. Too busy looking at the new card. So this one's got flying. I meant to. The text is kind of small. I knew one of them didn't have flying. So my opponent probably will not be able to fly a frog next turn. I also can maybe just retrace an endurance. If we mill over a K command, we can cast this Emrakul though. Okay, so I guess I can go retrace Excavator, play Forest from my graveyard, retrace Endurance, play the land from the yard. We did it. Yeah, we've disabled Hover Zoom, we've disabled animations. I've shredded about 20,000 cards in preparation for this stream. Lag's still happening. Balatro high score run stream, sounding more and more appealing every second, every second of every day. Attacking with just this frog. So if I block with, let's see, this costs 10 right now. It costs 9 once a creature dies. I have 6, 7, 8. Okay, so easy chump block with. Oh, I guess no, easy chump block with endurance. So then I just have 9 mana next turn. Could you explain the shredding? Yeah, so shredding, and we can also make the Emrakul uncounterable, which is huge. So there, GoBot Shredder just gets rid of your worthless cards that are worth like a 10,000th of a cent. It just takes them from you, which is really good because the less cards in your collection, the smoother Magic Online runs. Did we need to cast Endurance main phase? You can flash them with retrace. Yeah, with 6, you can only retrace things on your turn, and you can only retrace permanent cards. Okay, so we're up a game. We get to bring in 4 Veil and potentially 4 Relics. I think the Relics are kind of easy to bring in, where you just like cut the baubles for them. Spore Frog was good for me when I played this matchup. I feel like I did, but I don't think, whatever. Maybe I'm confusing it with like the Domain Zoo. Excavator seems kind of slow, but they don't play that many basics, so I do kind of want to leave it in. I'm going to go down 1-6-3 Rumble. Let's try this. We had bring in 4 Relic over Baubles almost each game. We don't need a Relic main. You could main deck Relic if you wanted to. It's like a little weird because we have a good amount of graveyard like synergies ourselves. But you could. This hand is close. I would definitely keep it if this Dryad Arbor were a basic forest. Do you cut Emmy because they probably bring Graveyard Hate in? I'm really happy if my opponent brings Graveyard Hate in. And Emrakul is just kind of good against them, so leave one copy in. It'll still cost like 10 mana a lot of times. We can get there a lot of games. Let's mulligan. Okay, this hand's better. I'll put back the forest. If Grist Flip Walker didn't cost 1 mana flip, would it be playable? It would certainly be twice as good. So, you would see certainly a lot more of it. I do think the Flip Grist, like in theory, and maybe this is more of a theory thing than a practice thing, but like I could see that card being a card I would be interested in playing in Modern if like just like sorcery speed disenchants were super good. But right now it's like instant speed disenchants are so much better because of Breach. But I don't think I would just definitely never play that card, you know what I mean? Spell Snare, don't care. Kind of an easy Titania there. Any cool lists you saw from Canadian EURCs? I liked Edgar's Breach build a lot with the portable holes and stuff. And then some other people have linked like the Orem's Chant control list, but I don't think I've really seen much besides that. I know this always sounds a little weird, but I don't really spend much time like trolling deck lists. I'm just kind of okay, there's a draw stop here, I guess. For surgical? Yeah, I don't spend a lot of time like scouring deck lists. I just kind of like build my own decks, and then when people come into the chat, they show me interesting stuff. But like this weekend, Friday I did my playtesting with my play development team for the game we're working on. And then Saturday I went to the gym with my friend and hit a new bench PB, and then had a date with Esther, and then so I still get a draw card off the Veil at least. And then yesterday I prepped for the week for streams, or like the next 2 days of streams probably. And I wrote a chapter for my book, or I finished a chapter I've been working on all week for the book, and I read like 100 pages, and I did some more game development stuff. And so I'm just not spending a lot of time like on the MTG Goldfish. What was the PR? So I didn't max out, but I need to count. So it's 25 plus 25 plus 45 plus 45 plus the bar. So it's 135 plus 50. So I did 5 reps of 185, which I was pretty proud of. And then after that, I foolishly tried 225. I think I still can't do 225. But I bet I could probably like one rep 200 if I was fresh. But like I usually go by myself, so I don't usually have the opportunity to lift with a friend. So it was good to get out of my comfort zone a bit there. Pox Your Life with 17 months. Thank you. Welcome back. If you can hit 185 for 5, you can hit 285 for 1, you're probably just gassed. Yeah, maybe. Again, I usually just can't risk it because I just am benching by myself. But I could get it. So I did after that. I tried 225 and then I could get a little bit off my chest, but next time, baby. I'm gonna block here actually. If it's Oculus, I just am fucked no matter what. To use safety bars. Okay, we called the bluff. Usually, I mean, this isn't recommended, but usually I just like don't clip the weight so I can roll it off if I need to. I've only ever had to do that once. I don't know if that's bad etiquette or what. So if they counterspell my Titania, we're kind of cooked. Like we could woodland it, but that's probably just going to be too slow. If hitting 225 is the goal, you want more sets, less reps, max your reps. Yeah, I hear you. I don't know if it is my goal so much. Like, I'm really not trying to like super min max weightlifting. I'm trying to. I think it's okay if I don't get anything back here. Yeah, I'm really not trying to like really min max everything. I'm just kind of trying to exercise every day and be healthy. That is my goal with weightlifting. It's not really so much to become a bodybuilder or anything. Weird timing. What happened to the spike room? So I'm switching my stream rooms upstairs because the one I've been in, it gets like way too hot in the summer. So I'm down here for now. I also just really like being down here. Because like when I'm doing all my like personal projects and stuff, Esther's down here too. She like plays piano over there. We get to hang out a lot more. So I have really liked being down here. I want to give this room back to Esther soon though, so I won't be down here forever, hopefully. But it's been nice being down here. I've liked it. I also get to like see the dogs outside playing, which is great. Earlier stream, you said other forms of Eldrazi are underplayed and not ramp. Could you elaborate which types you're referring to? So on this stream, I've been really impressed with Aetherworks Marvel. I found that build is good against Temur as well. I've been impressed with the Magus of the Candelabra build. I think that build is also good against Temur. I've been impressed with Mono Blue, although we didn't have that good of a showing over the weekend in the challenge, but that is also a build that I like and would recommend. Mono Blue, and then the 2 Mono Green variants, the Aetherworks Marvel deck, which has been pretty good, and then also the this is an upkeep. They're flipping up Harbinger. Curses. Brutal, dude. Although I guess I get to attack with everything. Yeah, we did trophy last league. Deck's been good. I've been having this is kind of like the type of modern format I tend to thrive in. I tend to thrive in modern formats where that like seem kind of solved and other people are not that happy with, but I feel like I'm just cooking with the brews. Can we replay Saga with 6? You can replay Saga with 6 if you find it. I kind of hate Urza Saga in these kind of decks. I always have, but you could play it if you wanted to. If you're a Saga fan. So let's pop this, try to find something to do. Nothing to do. Attack with Arbor if they block it upgrades. The thing is that 1 extra damage doesn't seem to matter that much, right? Since they're at a multiple of 5. But maybe that's good. They catch any RC Prog? No, I just don't tend to watch like a lot of Magic content on my own. I just like I don't know, kind of do anything else. My opponent says GG. Okay, GG to you too. They didn't have to be dead, so is this me? Am I dead or are you dead? Typically, I don't feel like I think they must be dead here. This deck is so fire. I had horrible draws though. True. Horrible draw. Did they have horrible draws? I'm just gonna say true no matter what. Why my opponent went turn 2 Frog on the play? Maybe, I mean, they didn't have a counter spell for my Titania. That was bad. 6-0 with the deck. The Emrakul we added came through game 1. I'm a very controversial figure, so I may have pissed them off in another way also, but wait, I can't lose any more of you. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I don't know what to say. I'll try. I'll be better. Also, both opponents who have been tilted have been. I Veil of Summered them. I think maybe y'all hate Veil of Summer more than you hate me. Can I show the deck list? Moxfield is down. You'll see it in sideboarding, and you can scroll back to in the VOD if you want to take a look. Moxfield too popular. Maybe he used to buy your work, but he just doesn't watch you anymore. Yeah. I mean, it seems like something happened. I used to admire your work, and now, I found out that you're controlled by your editors, and you're not your own man. You're not a Maverick. So, Could be a few different reasons. Ooh, Jeskai energy. Fun. Ah, this is the draw that punishes us for cracking the Bauble, of course. They're gonna copy my halfling? Cool. Moxfoot is working just fine. Okay, so do I have the deck set up wrong? Okay, it looks like it's working for me. Okay, let's get ready to rumble instead of green sunning this turn. So next turn maybe I'll go green sun for 6, and then that could, if I draw a land, I could retrace a Bauble to set up for some Freestrider action. I think that they were likely just bantering, right? So we drew a halfling. Yeah, I think I'm still in on this green sun for 6 plan. I'll also, I guess, play Excavator, replay Forest, because halfling could have been better. But I just like that this has 4 toughness, too. Yeah, green sun for 6. Cost 4 mana. Cost 4 mana. The biggest things from RCs were Brood Scale top 8 Prog. Yeah, I think Brood Scale is good. Dom top 8 with Titan in Ottawa. In Ottawa with Otawara, perhaps? Ooh, Belia. Not too surprised to see Dom top 8ing. Is Godfaros the most slept on deck in Modern? Yeah, that's that. We're talking about Eldrazi variants. That one's also. I mean, it's not really an Eldrazi deck, but we did play it the other day, and it didn't do as well as the last time we trophied. I do still think it's a very sick deck. Like the FOMO interactions are so cool to me still. Belching on Ketramos, the new Dawn from DFT. I like that card. I think that it is certainly powerful. It's certainly coming to Modern in a really good time, where they're not attacking with the Johnny, so they're not going to target my 6. What are they targeting? They're going to target the Johnny. They target the Static Prison, but now I just get to block like this. I guess that's their plan. Okay, are they going to flip a Johnny, or are they going to kill my 6? They kill the 6, and then they just imprison the halfling again. Someone with Tinno with Looting and Breach. That's cool. I mean, Breach definitely seems really good. I would like to see more Stony Silences in the format. I'd like to see more Spell Snares in the format. Potentially more Karns. How good do you think Domain Zoo is right now? I was high on it a few weeks post-ban. I'm not sure. I played against it with this deck yesterday, and I won. Getting them off Domain was pretty cool. That's also a deck that I think could be good. I think that's a deck that historically is actually good against Breach. It was a deck that, like, if you Leyline Scion Energy, you usually have a pretty good time, and if you don't, you usually have a pretty bad time. So, like, there's that to consider. But yeah, I think Domain Zoo could be a sleeper. But I'm not like a Domain Zoo main. I'm not someone who, like, I think has played enough of that deck to really say for sure one way or the other. So I would kind of love to hear from archetype experts of that deck, I guess. Why don't you play fetch lands for Ramunap, etc.? I do. My fetch lands are my Field of Ruins and my Ghost Quarters. When I'm playing 8 Field of Ruins, I don't really have a lot of room for fetches. You could play like 1 maybe. So they get a Mockingbird, presumably to flip the Ajani. Do we have any Domain Zoo mains who have feedback on how that deck is at the moment? I came home from Prague where I top 8'd the main event with Brewscale. Awesome, congrats. Yeah, I do think Brewscale is pretty good. I'm glad that you're succeeding with the deck. So this will be pretty tough if they plus the Ajani, because they also have this Flage that they can escape next turn if they let the Static Prison die. Mid, don't play Zoo and Boros exist. Okay, good feedback. I would think that the access to counter spells would be pretty nice, but maybe not. Oh, sorry, they just copy Ranger Captain, and they get another copy of Mockingbird. And this is potentially really good for them because they they can stop me from ever resolving a Green Sun Zenith for the Flage. So I think I am going to not play my second Freestrider here so that I can field the arena if it looks like my opponent is going to be able to escape the Flage. And then try to find a K command. I played one Emrakul and one Traverse Main. They were insane. That's sick tech. Like the one of Emrakul, especially with Traverse too, but also with just K command, is like also in this stack. It's just so much value. I haven't played against Eldrazi yet either, which I think it's a good sign for this deck that we're 6-0 and we haven't played against like one of the main decks we're trying to prey on, which is Eldrazi, of course. Oh, they copied Ramunap Excavator. And they're casting a Seasoned Pyromancer. Yeah, Spore Frog seems like it could be a good thing to find. Although we don't have a 6 yet. Although if we find a Shifting Woodland off of our Freestrider, we could have a 6. Domain Zoo is 50% at big events this weekend. I mean, it's not too bad. I don't play Zoo, but I definitely play 2 Arena. Shouldn't hurt the deck too much, but having Hasty Flage, Treble Flames will sounds good. That does sound good, yeah. Yeah, it seems like you can't sign into Moxfield at the moment, but the deck lists are still available. How works Spore Frog combo? You can. It's not a combo so much as it's just something you can replay over and over again with 6. So we're kind of hoping to find like Kozilek's command into Spore Frog maybe, which is kind of asking a lot. To see the Fern MTGO Eldrazi looks like got second in Prog. I didn't see that one. Yeah, what was going on with that? What was the juice? So I can't cast K command right now. Not that I could, anyways. So maybe if this Ranger Captain wasn't active, what I would be doing would be like Shifting Woodland, copy 6, retrace Bauble. Seems like I'm kind of just screwed, but... How do they have 3 copies of our creatures? Mockingbird. So I'm gonna... Oh, I guess I can't even field them off double red because of the halfling. But I might be able to make them think they can't escape. I might be able to make them think they can't escape the Flage. It could be easy for them to forget about halfling because it's like not a card that's actually in their deck. So I think going for them, making the punt here is not such a bad plan. If we see a basic mountain, you can concede. Just dead to them killing their own cat. They do fail to find. We're not in particularly good shape, but we maybe will have a lot of lands in play. Oh yeah, they also have Ramunap. Okay, well, make him kill us, I guess. Yeah, we did see Dredger's Insight. Could be good in Yawgmoth. Malevolent Rumble, of course, makes us like really want to look differently at these cards. Good to know they only have 2 basics. Also, I think that they're maybe playing something pretty similar to the mana base we played. And look how many lands we have. How I love Freestrider Lookout. Fur was playing 2 Writhing Chrysalis instead of Null Drifters, running a bunch of Stone Rain. Cool. I mean, I do think Null Drifter is like... It's a card that people kind of act like it's mandatory in these decks, but I don't think it like usually performs all that well. They're playing Jeskai. I think this Jeskai Mockingbird deck is like a pretty important deck to be testing. Okay, so against Energy, we're going to bring in our Endurances. I'm a little unsure about Emrakul in this matchup. So I think I will leave an Emrakul because they're not going to be playing Blood Moon, and then I maybe would cut it if not. Excavator, probably just the 3 toughness, pretty bad against them. I think could be a reason to cut the Nissa. Maybe Nissa gets better with these Endurances. Could see that being the case. I think we'll play Relic over Bauble, just the slot Flage. So I can cut Nissa. I can cut 6 number 3. Let's cut 6 number 3 just for mana curve considerations instead of a Rumble. Then we're doing a red K command deck, kind of like the old big red decks with Trinisphere. I don't think it would be like that so much. Probably it would be like Hayashi style of like kind of like interactive Field of Ruin, Ragavan, DRC, Bauble, maybe Underworld Breach. I have thought a little bit about it. I don't necessarily want to just like go through the motions and just play all the K command decks to play them, but um, it may be something to test. I think I'm. Goblins deserves a chance to play a K command too. Okay, you don't have enough sources. You have 8 colors. Or sorry, 12. 12 is still low without Temple. With Temple, it's okay. Good luck. May God have mercy on your soul. Well, certainly don't like keeping this and then drawing land, but we get a nice little electrolyze here. How is a field deck in this meta? Mini decks with 1/0, 1/2 basics. Basically, no deck has 0. Breach, a lot of lists play 1 or 2. It's very good against like just Eldrazi in general, where you get their temples, you get their labyrinths. Ghost Quarter can hit their Utopia Sprawl land. Eldrazi is definitely a pretty popular deck. There's also a lot of utility lands like Arena of Glory. Our opponent's only playing 2 basics. Yeah, there's Belcher. All right, bottom of forest, draw a forest. Okay, let's just not draw any more lands. That would be great. Let's draw Green Suns, K commands. One nice thing about playing so many lands in this deck is you have 6 Bauble to like just dump your lands for baubles sometimes. But we boarded out our baubles and we haven't drawn 6. Get a Mockingbird maybe? To get a Mockingbird will field their archive. I'm going to play Landfall my RC. My testing is going really well. Awesome, good feedback. I haven't been really playing it much. Do you have any like tech you want to share? It's okay if you want to keep it secret too, of course. To grab a Guide of Souls. Maybe scared of the Field of Ruin. The channel lands loops a huge improvement. Yeah, that's definitely something I didn't really want to have to test. I guess we'll field into Relic Pop. One Elvish Pioneer and Flare. Right. That build. Cool. Well, win your RC and then we'll play your deck list on stream. Just lost to Field playing this Jeskai deck. Just lost to Field playing this Jeskai deck. Field of Ruin. If I win IRC, will you play a league with stock energy? No, but I'll congratulate you. Probably not winning this game. Pretty flooded. I guess we'll, 6-1 is still a pretty good record if we lose. It's funny because I qualified for an RC with Underworld Breach with Nadu in it, then played the Ring version for the rest of the season. Now it's the best deck. I don't want to play it anymore. It's funny. Yeah, we will still play your pet decks next. Which is maybe actually kind of true because okay, we gotta play this turn. I want to get to the Glaring Fleshraker Keen Sense deck. I also would be okay if we just save it for tomorrow because I almost expected today that I would just be playing that deck all day because the deck is so cool. But then I was 3-0 in this with this deck, so I wanted to finish this one on stream. So of course, if we just end up not getting to everything today, it's good. We've got all week. Yes. I'm gonna let the dogs out real quick. I'm gonna type lag to pretend like there's lag. Tina, Lucy, come outside. I know we are hemorrhaging fans pretty fast over here. Need to go back to losing. If K command is this egregious, is there a likelihood it gets banned? I don't want to be buying into a deck that uses it just to lose the card and efficiency of the deck come March. I would say that I would not think it's likely that this is a card that gets banned anytime soon. I think it's a card that could possibly get banned one day. This is supposed to have a good energy matchup. I don't know. I think it probably doesn't have a great energy matchup. We've got certainly pretty flooded this game. I think we mulliganed last game. I would say we probably are not favored overall. Looking for Spore Frog with 6. So we draw Green Sun or Rumble over Spore Frog. We got a solid chance here. Yeah, the new gear, the new green white gear or blue white gear Hulk, sorry, seems like a commander card. So far, only actually the green red one could be something you shape anew into. I think the card seems a little bit better than Graz to me, which is like kind of like a Crater Hoof you would shape anew into, but kind of asking a lot. Another land. All right, come on, Spore Frog. Please show up to work. I guess I only put one Spore Frog on the deck. Kind of hard to ask for. Okay. Anew. Shape Anew plus Gingerbread Cabin is a pretty cool combo because it's hard to interact with compared to creativity plus Goblin token, or sorry, Dwarf token, since creatures are much easier to kill than food. The problem is, you know, we did have a deck that cheated God Pharaoh's Gift into play, and then that build was like pretty cool. But for the most part, there just like aren't that many like crazy things to cheat into play. In fact, if you could have something that was like as generically good as like Archon of Cruelty, that would be super cool. Like if you could shape anew into God Pharaoh's Gift, I think it would be probably better than a creativity just because it's harder to interact with. And you also get and also the big thing with shape anew is that you get to play creatures in your deck, which is pretty nice. Like I did win this matchup yesterday. Seems like a fine time to play the Arbor. When are we playing another Goblin Engineer deck? Hopefully never, but probably after Aether Drift. Do you think the Count on Luck is playable, or our Phyrexian Arena is just too slow? That's the red Phyrexian Arena. Yeah, Phyrexian Arena is very far away from being what I would consider to be a modern playable card, but they did ban the ring, and there's not many great card advantage spells in the format anymore. Look at the cards. That is a sad card to look at. Even though you can only shape a new X1. Yeah, I think so. It's also because Gingerbread Cabin is green, you can a Boreal Grazer plus Flare. You can explore and like pretty consistently shape a new and Archon into play on turn 3 that your opponent can't interact with very well. So yeah, I do think if Archon of Cruelty was an artifact, or like an artifact creature, maybe. I guess not. It would have to be just an artifact somehow. Maybe not the best example. I guess I'd play the 6. I'm not going to retrace the Bauble. Well, no, let's retrace the Bauble. When Eggstream is Eggs your pet deck? Sundering Titan. Yeah, the thing is Sundering Titan just isn't generically good, I think. Although maybe it could actually be pretty good right now. Okay, love that they're using the Ephemerate now, not waiting until I have 2 creatures. That's a great exchange for us. Greyhound within 2 years. Thank you, welcome back. Yeah, I like this white-black deck existing too. Belia, Solitude, that's pretty scary. Recruiter on top, that's probably not beatable. Have I tried Trash for Treasure since loading up Gun Band? I mean, the problem is, like, there's just nothing good to cheat into play. I mean, Sundering Titan could be good right now, I think, but it's going to be only killing 2 lands a lot of the time. Maybe fine. Yeah, Portal to Phyrexia was cool. What about Mirror Battlesphere? Yeah, it's just like kind of not good enough, I think. Too many flyers. Isn't Portal to Phyrexia good enough? No, it just like kind of doesn't do anything against like combo decks, big mana decks. An Aven Interrupter. Okay, let's go to game 2. Did beat this matchup yesterday. Chat needs a reference sheet of you giving a thumbs up or thumbs down to every spoil card. Well, I do a set review every set, so I'm going to be doing that for this too. Looking to be kind of a long video, I guess. I think I liked having Force of Vigor in yesterday because killing Overlord is actually like really important. Overlord is so scary. It also hits Vile. I'm gonna keep the Emrakul in. It's a slow matchup. Let me cut the Excavator. Shimmer Rumble. Hey Spike, this deck is amazing. K command is bonkers, but is it fast enough against Boros? I think this deck probably doesn't have a good Boros matchup. I think you have some plans against Boros that are good, like Safekeeper, Titania. You can assemble this quickly, hopefully. You have 6+ Spore Frog. K command is good against them, but it isn't like... It's a good card in the matchup, I would say. It's a tool. Yeah, maybe Sundering Titan's good at the moment. Let's take a look at our Shape a New Shell. And then there's the God Pharaoh's Gift deck. So like this is not one I want to like completely dismiss. This deck was weird too because I ended up not playing Ugin's Lab in a deck that could support it because I wanted to play more forest for my Gingerbread Cabin. And the idea is you have this shell of like Falahi Archaeologist, Oracle of Tragedy, Kiora that like get Ulamog into the yard and then also sack to Flare of Denial. Maybe this deck was pretty good. So in theory, you could cut the Ulamogs and the God Pharaoh's Gift and play Sundering Titan in this kind of shell. And then that would also mean that you wouldn't have to play like Falahi Archaeologist, Oracle of Tragedy, Kiora necessarily. Tamio could still be good. So you could play a lot of different cards. And then you would have less air in your deck if you're playing Sundering Titan. Although, maybe you would still play Kiora to like discard redundant Sundering Titans. This hand's pretty cool. Liberty Sandwich with the 10 months. Thank you. Welcome back. Would a bounce then be good? It's hard to always have a land in hand with Excavator. A way to always have a land in hand with Excavator. Well, Excavator plays lands from the graveyard. So that doesn't seem particularly relevant. They can't always have Solitude Ephemerate, can they? I'm gonna keep asking about the Mako till I get an answer. I don't know what this card is, so maybe if you could type the text or send a link, I could look at it. Yeah, very fun deck to 5-0 with. Shape anew for Forsaken Monument and a blue-green Eldrazi build with Karn. Yeah, I don't love it when it's like you're spending 4 mana to cheat a medium 5-drop into play. Am I reading the card wrong? Why do people like Delighted Halfling and decks with no legendary? So in this deck, we do have legendaries. We have Titania, we have Emrakul, we have Nissa, and we have 6. So we do actually have a good amount of legendaries. This also taps for Colorless in our Kozilek's command deck. Okay, they do indeed always have Solitude Ephemerate. Oh, Mako is the Flameblade Adept. Yeah, that card's good. Card's good. So yeah, we won. Both do have legends, and the Colorless mana is helpful for K command. And also not dying to Bowmasters is big. Looks like I beat some Dimir Oculus. Yeah, we did beat Dimir Oculus today. Overall matchups have seemed pretty solid, I'd say. Okay, I'm gonna get a 6 here. Now, hopefully they can't kill my 6 without exiling the Solitude, and I can at least block the Felia, then Solitude comes down, eats the 6, then we just keep playing Magic the Gathering. Good, clean 1-for-1s. So we can get another one here. If we draw like a Bauble, okay. We'll get a Freestrider. See if they have another Felia, I guess. Gotta be thankful for no Containment Priest. Because they have Thoughtseize in their deck. I should probably be waiting on this. A little lazy. So they're going to find land number 3 that might unlock something like a Skyclave Apparition, which would be bad if they have Felia here. They have a Bowmaster, which isn't great on account of the whole Bauble situation, but it isn't the worst either. It just doesn't do that much. Spore Frog! I think it's our first time drawing it today. Haven't had a chance to loop it yet. Could definitely be a game where that comes up. So it doesn't seem like they have a removal spell to my Freestrider, which is great, because I definitely want to keep utilizing it. If we draw a colorless land, we can K-command to trigger it. Otherwise, we can maybe just Field of Ruin. They do play the Witch Enchanter, and they play a Recruiter of the Guard. Maybe get a Skyclave, maybe get a Solitude, maybe get a Felia. They do grab a Solitude, but they don't use it now, which is going to let me commit another crime. Is there a way to loop Fog Frog apart from Woodlands Dreaming Up? Yeah, you have Woodlands Dreaming Up and you just have 6 to retrace it. So just a 1 of Green Sun target with those synergies here. Did you ever consider a single waste, or is 13 color sources too bad? I don't think you need it so bad, because it's like you don't want to tutor it off Field of Ruin or I should say you don't need to tutor it off Field of Ruin to get a colorless source, right? Because you already have a colorless source with the field, and then we also have Rumble and we have Halfling, so we have a lot of incidental colorless sources too. So I just don't think it's needed. Okay, so let's try to exile Bowmaster, scry draw. They Solitude the Freestrider, that's okay. I've gotten a second trigger. Should have a lot of mana here. They may get to Bowmaster ping. So now they Solitude. They pitch a Felia, which is a really potent card. The Thieves' Thought on the Demir Oculus.
Boros, Temur, and Eldrazi Ramp are clearly very well positioned in the metagame.
Yeah, shout out to all the Demir Oculus players too. Good, solid deck choice, guys.
We're gonna have.
No. Yeah. Couldn't have said it better myself. So we have Delirium now, which is nice. We have 6 Frog. Hopefully my opponent doesn't have another Ephemerate. How did they pitch Felia? I don't know. Maybe their hand is like Fatal Push Bowmaster. Did Demir Oc do bad? I mean, Demir Oculus has been, like, I think a pretty overrated deck for a long time. I haven't really felt like it's been a deck that is a good competitive choice, period. And it's just not a deck that. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm being too harsh. It's fine. It is kind of. I'm being too harsh. It's like the epitome of mid. It's the kind of deck that players really gravitate to, and it's the kind of deck that players really want to be good, and that players really really kind of play no matter what. Despite it, I think it's not. I think that Gab is right that it's just not a well positioned deck. Being honest is not being mean, but I think it's just the deck that people love to play, and definitely going to crack this now to try to draw command. Yeah, very, very much Murktide vibes. That Flicker Wisp is quite bad. But they cast Recruiter of the Guard instead of the Wisp. Why? They get a Solitude. Okay, if this Solitude, I think, ends up... Okay, this is way better for us. Oh, sorry, I should have shuffled the Flicker Wisp. I guess thankfully this ended up being better for us. What you said about Phoenix, ever since you built it for the challenge, I've loved it. Do you still think it's decent? I haven't played it in a while. I think that you would probably have to try to retool it some, but I can't imagine it's just like completely awful. Maybe it is. Well, I guess they just get to do this too. My opponent says woof woof. Wow. How dare they? Uh-oh, if Dimir Oculus isn't good, then we're back to the energy combo dichotomy, and now there's a clear best combo deck. I think that's an interesting point. I will say, I don't know what it is, but it just doesn't seem like people like to even think of Eldrazi as the best deck. But it does seem like, to me, if I was going to be playing an RC, and I'm not going to be this time, Eldrazi is like really, really high on the list of decks I would want to play. Maybe I should have just set up for endurance here. I think Eldrazi is just really, really good. And I think you can make a really good case that Eldrazi is like like for me, I would put Eldrazi and Breach over the energy decks. I think Titan is underplayed. I think the Eldrazi decks are really good and have room for refinement. If people start playing less Dimir, can this open the floodgates for other decks to pop up? We'll see. We'll see. Maybe and maybe not. Okay, so I guess I'm going to trade here. Yeah, this black-white deck is popping up. Like, this black-white deck is, I think, actually in a big way taking the play space of Dimir Oculus, where this is just kind of the better, fair, interactive deck, black deck. How's Hollow One position? So I actually think Hollow One is quite good, but Hollow One is like, everyone just wants to play Nethergoyf Bowmasters over Root Wall of Vengevine, and I think Root Wall of Vengevine is certainly the better way to go. And this new card is seemingly going to buff it too. So did it turn out Orzhov is better without Guide Pride of Johnny? I'm struggling to understand why. Well, maybe it's more so that like Orzhov Guide Pride of Johnny is worse than Boros Guide Pride of Johnny, and so like you're not very good at fighting that deck on that game plan. But you can fight that deck on this like Felia, Overlord, Flickerwisp, Recruiter, Solitude Ephemerate plan instead. Don't know if that makes sense. Okay, so they're going to Bowmaster my Frog, and I have to now Woodland my Frog, which I don't love. I think let's concede, and then it seems like we have enough time for at least one league. Hopefully two. Although with the lag, probably not. Let's pivot over to the Fleshraker Curiosity deck.